Hello, everybody. This is the RSN Wrestling Podcast, and this is our review, reaction, whatever you want to call it, of the Survivor Series weekend pay-per-view, which included
We're basically
Survivor
bashing.
Series.
We're basically bashing Survivor Series.
Indeed, we are, and basically the booking of Survivor Series, particularly. I mean,
Except
there's
for one
so
match.
much shit that happened. It's
There
crazy.
was only one match that was actually good.
That's true. Well, I mean, before we divulge into that, my name is Sal. I'm the mastermind, and on the other side, we got right here the big
We got
guy,
the big
Rich.
guy, Rich. The big guy, the real big guy.
The real big guy. But still, it's interesting that we have all this stuff going on right now. I mean, of course, the whole weekend and the process. Wait just 1 minute. Fuck, man.
Technical difficulty.
Technical difficulties indeed. I was going ahead and I was turning on Raw on my tablet. Shit just malfunctioned on me right now. It pulled an Eva Marie.
Oh God! It pulled this.
God,
No,
damn. Trying to put this in doesn't work.
it pulled a Survivor Series.
But yeah, basically, Survivor Series. 3 letters. WTF. What the literal fuck happened? Don't you agree?
In my opinion, the only good thing that happened in Survivor Series was the 5-on-5 male match.
Indeed. I mean that. I think there's a couple of good parts in this match. I mean, of course. I mean, it's whole pay-per-view. There was some parts were good. Some
But
parts.
that was the match of the night, though, because there was actually nothing wrong with that match.
I think it was mainly the spots that took place.
As we all know, Shane McMahon put on a hell of a match.
Oh my god, I really didn't expect Shane to put on that performance, and it's kind of surreal to see that he actually he performed that well during that night.
Did you happen to realize one specific spot in that match, though?
I recognize a couple.
There was one that caught everyone's attention.
Yeah,
When-
I mean, well, let's set it up first before. So you want to work your way from the top of the card all the way to the big bullshit highlight?
Well, I think we should do TakeOver first. Cover Saturday and then go into Sunday.
So how about this? We'll just talk mostly basic highlights. I mean, basically that whole event was a highlight, right?
Oh, TakeOver, there was nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong completely. I mean, of course.
The only thing that fans could probably say was wrong was the Asuka Mickie James match.
Yep. Well, I mean, you actually saw Mickie James actually botch a lot of stuff. She had a lot of ring rust in her.
She had a lot of WWE ring rust.
That's true. Well, I mean, that just proves another point that that there was like this debate of having old people come back to WWE, like bringing back the old names and having them compete with today's stars. It validates that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, it's different from when she was in the ring
Yep.
6 years ago to 10 years.
Yep.
Compared to the way it is now. It's a big difference.
Right. I mean, it
Back then they were allowed to do whatever they wanted, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it really just proves the point that you can't have old stars fighting the new style. I mean,
unless your name is Chris Jericho, then you just adapt. Like
that's
within 2 minutes, you could adapt to now.
Yep. All thanks to DDP Yoga. Shout out to DDP Yoga. So definitely. But I mean,
that was a cheap little Chris Jericho plug.
Yep. Talk is Jericho also. So one of our favorite podcasts here at the RSN Wrestling Podcast. But I mean,
check it out on iTunes, SoundCloud, all that.
Jericho, we need you to be a sponsor for this podcast. We really need you to be.
We don't want any money from plugging you. We just want the respect from you.
Guess what? You know what else also?
What?
We just made the list.
Oh, do you know why we made the list, though?
Why?
Because we forgot to plug ProWrestlingOpinion.com.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. 3 letters. PWO.
Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, Nick, we gotta. Well, I don't know if you know, but this is basically everybody here. RSN Wrestling Podcast. We're doing all kinds of big things. We keep evolving, keep on doing different things. one of the big things that we're doing also, of course, this we're three guys right here. So it's RS and Rich Sal and the Nick Lopez, owner of
We're not
PWO.
changing it. We're not changing it to RST for the Nick Lopez. Sorry.
No, now we aren't, unfortunately. But everybody knows it's the Nick Lopez, so that's one thing. But again, you should look up a site. It's called Pro Wrestling Opinion. If you don't know what that is, basically it's the best site where you get minute to minute, live up to date coverage, in depth and very very descriptive to the point where it's kind of like it's as descriptive
match in your head.
Yeah, basically you get to see everything in your head as it takes place. And if you see it on the actual thing, on the actual show, you actually be like, holy crap, like, damn, this is exactly how
I saw it.
Yep. So, of course, it's a very, very good site, very, very good tool that many people use.
Just throwing it out there, I want to see how he reviews Survivor Series. Wow.
Well, I mean, he's still behind, right, in some of the stuff, but he's still working on it, right?
Yeah, but I still want to see how he reviews Survivor Series, though.
Oh, man.
How bad he makes it.
Well, there's so much that is going on with Survivor Series. I mean, of course, there was such a build
out there. If you realized, yet again, TakeOver beat the pay-per-view.
Indeed, this is like almost the third time in a row. This is 3 out of 4 big pay-per-view events.
Well, they didn't have one for the Rumble yet.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, 3. That's what I'm saying. 3. So I mean, we had the Rumble early this year. We have
there was no TakeOver though.
Yeah, WrestleMania.
TakeOver Dallas, which was phenomenal.
Right.
TakeOver Brooklyn, which wasn't as good as the first one, but it still beat out SummerSlam.
Yep, indeed.
And this one just blew it out of the fucking water.
This one just threw everything out the window. It was crazy. But I mean, that's just one thing. I mean, of course, let me look at the build. You look at the bill for Survivor Series. The bill was like, it was crazy. It was on top. Like, everybody was like, they did their best. They gave 110%. When you see NXT TakeOver, the way they built it up,
there was like no build, and it still was amazing.
It was still such a great big event, and it made sense. I mean, of course, because you had that indie following, you had that whole thing.
Basically, the only build match that you really had was DIY and a Revival, because that's months and months and months of phenomenal build up. And it phenomenally paid off in big turn. I mean, let's take it back to let's take it back to Dallas. Dallas, they were facing DIY, right? Yes.
The first time. That was the first time. Then Brooklyn, they failed again. We actually thought they were going to win in Brooklyn, but they lost. And then, of course, you had in Canada. They won this time, no finishes. And for a moment, they were thinking that it was really going to happen. Like, holy shit. Like, these guys are going to lose again. But no, they actually won. And that was kind of surreal. But what were your thoughts on the whole thing? Like, what do you think?
I thought it was great that DIY actually hit the Revival with their own finisher.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing also. I think that they put on one hell of a performance. I think that's match of the year for now.
Definitely one of the candidates.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the spots in that match were crazy. They were doing all these kind of things. And then at the end, that whole double submission hold, like, that was perfect. I think that was perfectly placed.
It was.
It was a teaser. Like, for a moment, you thought that they were going to lose. And the next thing you know, they swipe around and they say, okay, we're smarter than that. When Gargano's legs kept being targeted, you were thinking, oh, my God, not the same old bullshit.
It's going to be Brooklyn again.
Yeah, it's going to be basically Brooklyn all over again. It's going to be Dallas all over again. They're trying to do something. And then the next thing you know, they fought past that and they said, all right, you know what? That's just going to keep going. And then when that actually did happen, we were like, holy shit.
I freaking marked out.
Yeah. I mean, they've been working for this for a long time, of course. And hopefully we see them in the main roster soon.
I do, but I don't.
Oh, really?
I want to see them on the main roster because I'm big fans of them.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how the tag teams are coming up from NXT.
Right. Well, I mean, here's one thing that we can say. I mean, of course, they came a long way. Gargano, of course, and Ciampa, they've been working all kinds of jobber matches in the WWE in the past. I mean, infamously, you remember Ciampa with The Undertaker, where he was like the lawyer or something like that. I don't know if you remember that, do you?
I do. And Gargano was a security guard.
Yep. And I think a couple of them did a couple of WrestleManias as the
extras for extras.
Like the extra John Cena or a fucking
a Taker
people in the band.
A Taker zombie when he
or Druid or something like that. Like of course, they deserved it 100%. And I mean, after that, you saw Triple H, standing in between them, going,
Good job.
like, congrats, good job, handshakes on both of them. I mean, of course, this is one thing too. When they both got signed, it was a big deal, right? It was a huge ass deal, right?
Oh yeah, they were the hottest free agent tag team.
Yeah,
Ever.
yeah, and I mean, of course, Ciampa and the Gargano, they were working dates. They were working indie dates all over. And of course, if you were going to like a big company,
if you remember, Ciampa worked a TNA show and an NXT show in the same week.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's one thing that's what I was gonna get into with WWE. Of course, if it was Vince or anybody else,
It wouldn't be like this.
They would be like, no, we can't tolerate that. You have to completely say no schedule.
It's one or the other.
Yeah, it's one or the other. We don't like. It's like, okay, we'll put you on WWE TV. You're gonna get the time, but you're only gonna get paid. Yeah, you're only gonna get paid about X amount of money, and okay, you should be fine. Or I can work these. It's like I can work these other indie days, get paid, and still work the WWE event. And Triple H, being a reasonable guy, said, you know what? That's all right. That's cool. You can go ahead and jump in. That's fully okay. That's all right. And then he brought him in and said, all right, let's go ahead and make some kind of deal with you guys. No problem. That's all right. You guys can show up here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they made money, and they were able to do this stuff.
And they did it phenomenally.
They did phenomenally indeed. But then leading into, so we did talk about Mickie James and Asuka. Basically, there was a whole botch with that. There was all kinds of spots. I think it really validated a point. I think I brought this up in the preview podcast where Mickie James, I think, is just what'd you call it?
You think it was a one and done?
Yeah, she was just a filler. She was just a filler for the spot for the women's division, because of course. Well, not only that, but also for NXT, because NXT really doesn't have another woman that can stack up against Asuka.
There's the one that I said.
Ember. Yeah, Ember. You said Ember, right? I think Ember too right now. She's the running candidate. But I don't think WWE wants to rush that. They don't want to just rush her in and say, okay.
You think they're going to wait a little bit?
I think they'll wait, yeah. They have to, because, of course, they're going to build this into something, and they got to build more of their athletes, right?
Do you remember what her indie name was?
Athena, right?
Was it?
I think it was Athena.
I don't remember. That sounds about right, though.
Yeah, Athena. But, I mean, of course, she has a big indie following, so that's got to play a factor as, let's give her a push. We'll have to see, though. I mean, Asuka, she's getting into a level where she's getting bigger and bigger, but the problem is...
In your opinion, do you think Billie Kay and Liv Morgan are ready to be that next level?
I think they still need to work on it. They're still fresh. They need to be able to. I mean, they're starting to get a little bit of a reaction, but they have to work for it. I mean, leading into that, so transitioning into something else. Ty Dillinger versus Bobby Roode. Did you see that crowd for Ty Dillinger?
They love him. 2
nights in a row. Whenever the referee was counting, they always went 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. That's got to tell you something. This guy has a following. I mean, if you look at that guy, for example, do you think he's ready to be NXT champion right now?
Well, after the reaction, like what happened after the match,
yeah,
I think that's a sign for a call-up.
Yeah, definitely it is. I mean, he's popular. He's red hot. He's fully red hot. I mean, of course, it's in Toronto, his hometown, but still,
I think that was like his fun song.
Yeah, I mean, well, think about this. Last year in Brooklyn, he was fresh off, still growing and everything like that. And they started with a new gimmick, this whole 10-10 deal. Brooklyn caught her out right 1, 2, 3, and that's where it started.
Do you remember who his partner was? Let's test your NXT knowledge. Who was his partner?
Don't remember.
Jason Jordan.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, this is when Jason Jordan was still trying to get his fitting, right?
Before he was looking for a partner.
Ah, I see.
And he got partnered up with Chad Gable. His original partner was Ty Dillinger, but he wasn't a perfect 10. It was just Jason Jordan and Ty Dillinger.
Right.
A lot of people forget that.
Really interesting. I'm still, that's just came up to me now. I'm noticing that now. That's crazy. But I mean, one thing it's always to see that.
So you can see the evolution of Ty.
Yeah, Ty's grown. He's grown a lot, and you're ready. I think you're right. He's definitely ready for like a main event push to get help put him in the IC title hunt. He'll be fucking gold right there. He's
Like
red hot.
as everyone said online, this character, like this Perfect 10 character,
Mhm.
would have been perfect for Ty if he was 10 years younger, at 24 years old.
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it's one thing also that he's more hotter than ever now. I mean, if you look at all the gimmicks that WWE gives people, they're kind of corny. They're kind of stale. They don't really do anything for people.
There's
They
only
just
certain ones that are like
that'll
really,
click. Yeah.
yeah. I couldn't think of the word, but like
Yeah.
there's certain characters that the fans could adapt to very quickly.
Right. Well, here's one thing. Do you think that if he does go to the main roster, will he end up like Tyler Breeze, where Tyler Breeze is kind of like in the mix of everything?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think?
Because
Wow.
Vince actually likes Ty.
Wow, really? So I mean, that's one thing too. I mean, of course, if he likes his gimmick, for sure, that's one
And
thing.
it's not even that; it's hard for Vince to actually like an NXT character.
That's right. That's right.
There's not that
But I
many
mean, it was
that he
kind of
actually
heartbreaking.
likes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's one thing. Also, he lost the match. The reaction from the crowd was like,
He got a big pop after the match, even though he lost.
and I think WWE wanted that because one, I think,
I think that was his swan song.
yeah, that might be.
Remember the Finn Balor one,
You're right. You're right. It might be.
the Bailey one.
Yeah.
I think that was it.
Really? So you think it's gonna be a main roster?
I think so, because if you remember when Bailey lost to Asuka,
Mhm.
she stood in the ring for an extra couple minutes.
Yep.
Same thing with Finn when he lost to Nakamura.
Right.
Stood in the ring an extra couple minutes.
Right.
Ty lost.
Mhm.
There you go.
Right. That's true. I think that's mostly just coming down to, like if you're looking at Liv Morgan, Billy Kay, all these other people, they still got to work for it. They might be popular right now, but this is just a start. They're looking for people that have a following that look like they're experienced in the ring, that work smooth.
Perfect example, like you just brought up, Tyler Breeze.
Yeah.
Look what happened with him. He had a great NXT following.
Mhm.
Great reactions.
Yep.
And now look.
Total, yeah, it's messed up.
He's
But
a
I mean,
he's the freaking fashion police.
it's messed up. I think that really degraded him, and I guess it's really just Vince because he wants to do certain things with certain guys, and he feels like okay, they're limited in what they can do, but he doesn't see the value in okay, let this guy be himself. If you look at Ty Dillinger, that's all genuine. When he says 10, 10, 10, he means it. It's not something that some writer that took classes in Berkeley and put it on a piece of paper and said, okay, this is your gimmick from now on. He literally believed it. He believed his own hype, and he did it, and he implemented it. So hats off to you, Ty.
He's a great character.
Great character indeed. But speaking of characters, this match really got everybody surprised and shocked. I'm of course talking about the second title change that happened, the big one. Samoa Joe wins the title against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, that was a great match.
No doubt. It was definitely a great match. But it was kind of crazy. Like, you saw Samoa Joe go all out, 110%. And it was crazy.
That was 110. That was like 150.
Yeah, and he went full steam. And, like, Shinsuke got dominated. And plus, I mean, you look at it and you're like, how is this going to go now? Like, holy crap. Like, who's going to win? And everybody was really thinking, okay, that Shinsuke is going to win, and that's it. No problem. That's right. Clean sweep.
Because we all thought that Joe was going to get called up.
Yeah, we thought, okay, Joe's going to get called up. This is going to be the same kind of deal with Finn against Joe. Same kind of deal. And I think one of the takeovers. Same kind of deal. It's like, okay, he's going to get called up.
I think it was London.
Yeah. Right. London, the steel cage match. And, like, everybody really thought, okay, that, of course, he's getting called up. He's obviously not going to win. But then when you see that Joe won, where do we go from here? It's like, holy shit.
I think Nakamura gets called up.
I was surprised at that. I thought Joe was going to get called up. So
because remember, everyone said that they want Nakamura up as soon as possible because he's main roster ready.
Let's look back at before WrestleMania when they signed Shinsuke Nakamura. The big announcement came out. Vince, in his own words, said, this guy will get a push. He will
He's
be at
ready.
WrestleMania next year. He will be at WrestleMania next year. That was his promise to everybody. WrestleMania 33, he will show up. So
And
I think
he's ready.
I think Vince.
Now the question is he a Rumble entry?
I don't think he's gonna be that early. I think he still has to be a little bit more. I think he still has to be there for a little bit more to see how everything else is gonna go.
Since we mentioned this guy earlier in the Talk to Jericho podcast, little did people know. Well, I don't know if you heard it. The TJ Perkins episode.
I didn't see that now.
Perkins was talking about growing up, like in New Japan, they have a thing called like the New Boys. It's all the new signees and all that.
The young boys, right?
Yeah, the young boys. Nakamura was in Perkins' class.
Really?
And he said that you never saw Nakamura because everyone knew Nakamura was already like ready to go right away.
Yep.
So he didn't have to set up the ring. He didn't have to carry people's bags or nothing. Nakamura was...
He was premature. I think he was
Nakamura was Nakamura 10 years ago, 18 years ago, just say.
Yeah. I mean, well, think about this. He's the most realist motherfucker that everybody knows. One, this guy is like a badass motherfucker. Two... Just
throwing out there, when he stole Joe's nose in that thing, I was laughing. I'm like, that is Nakamura.
He's a classic. Like it brings me back to in the beginning of the year, which still is again my candidate of the year. No spoilers. For match of the year, where it was AJ and Shinsuke. AJ throws the bullet at him, and he goes ahead and just takes it, ingests it, and it just spits it out. It's just crazy.
Oh, yeah.
This guy is gold. Like when you see him, Jim Cornette. I mean, I hate to.
You. Can you see AJ Nakamura at WrestleMania?
Definitely. They should definitely do that. And it has to happen because I think that's what put them on the map. I mean, I'll probably talk about this in our end of the year podcast, which is the end of the year review podcast, which will be airing soon. Where we just basically, it's like an award show, I believe.
It's the Slammies, but we're better than the Slammies.
Much better than Slammies. We got to come out with some kind. We still be coming out with some kind of name. We got to find out. But anyways, I mean, that's the match that kind of put them on the map. I think that's what got WWE's attention for sure. Because you see that match?
That was their last match in Japan.
Yeah, and that's what.
Right after that, AJ debuted at the Rumble.
Yep.
And Nakamura was like a month or so later.
Yep. And he was doing the transition already, moving and all that stuff. So I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Nakamura had a month longer contract than AJ, so he had to finish out his last month.
Yep, that's true. And he was stripped of the IWGP title and all that. But I mean, for sure. I mean, the question is now, it's not if he will be on the main roster, it's when. When now?
I give him the Rumble.
If we see him on the Rumble, that'd be dope. That'd be because if you remember the reaction from the Royal Rumble when AJ came out.
Nakamura's is gonna be bigger.
Oh my god! But imagine that, like
everyone's gonna be singing Nakamura's theme song.
Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be livid. I mean, if you're trying to make it big,
that's the time you do it.
Well, let's make it clear before we move on to Survivor Series. If you're gonna bring back old stars, that's not really gonna get you a reaction. Now I think it's more of like, you know, back in the day where if you saw Kevin Nash, it was like, holy shit. Or Booker
Even though you knew it was happening.
Yeah, he was like, oh my god, he's coming. Holy shit! First time I ever seen him. I think the only thing that could surprise us now is if there's like an indie guy, because indies, no one really knows that much about it. But when it happens,
only the internet marks.
Yeah, and look at AJ Styles, Royal Rumble. I mean, of course, that's proof, right? That only the marks chanted for him, right? Oh, wait. That was everybody in the fucking arena. Holy shit.
Everyone's reaction was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I guess we're all marks.
Even Roman. Even Roman's freaking reaction was priceless.
Yep.
He was like,
and then
what the fuck?
And then we got, what's his name? Some Bucky Mouth fucking producer that has the idea of just zooming in on Roman's face as if,
you should show the whole freaking arena.
Yeah, should show the whole fucking arena. But instead you want to have it on Roman's face like a mark-ass fucking retard that wants him on fucking Playboy.
Because he was probably fucking jerking off to Roman's face.
That's probably why. He was probably doing all that kind of shit. Like, what the fuck, man? Come on. This guy, but I mean, that just proves the point that You bring in an indie star, it's gonna be a big deal. Like imagine this: Ricochet comes up, Royal Rumble, or Will Ospreay comes up as a Royal Rumble entrant.
No one
Imagine
will know who they are.
No, I think they will. I think they will for sure.
But if you're looking at Kevin Dunn's reaction, no one knows who they are.
He doesn't know. Instead, he wants Shawn Michaels to come back.
Which I actually wouldn't mind that, though.
Yeah. I mean, I actually wouldn't mind that either. I mean,
I wouldn't mind him or Austin. Either one. I don't care.
I don't care.
It's in Texas. That's why.
Yep. I mean, they can come back, and this is the first time in the Alamo, so no lie. Just bring them back. That's good. No problem.
But between the two of them,
yeah,
Michaels looks more in shape, ready to go.
Yeah. I think Austin's just a fat fuck, but I love him, though. No problem. He can come in, stun people.
Nothing against you, Austin. You're still the man.
And here's another
thing. That Shawn is ready to go.
Yep, and Austin is the only person to have stunned our new president-elect of the United States. So
exactly,
gotta give him that. You know, so it's what it is. But moving on to Survivor Series, should we just keep Survivor Series just as short as that match was?
What, a minute 25 seconds?
Yeah. I mean, that's basically. I think we can just sum it up in a minute 25 seconds, right? Basically, I mean,
shit show.
It was a piece of shit. I mean, when you saw it,
I really think Kevin Dunn wrote it all.
Yes, your conspiracy. You think that?
Except for Raw vs. SmackDown, the 5-on-5 male match.
Well, let's break it down. So you had the title matches.
No, let's start from the beginning. The women's match sucked.
Women's match, yeah, I think they totally fucked that up.
Sami Zayn versus Miz sucked.
It was basically Sami Zayn and the Miz was basically a fucked up finish because
it was the Toronto Screwjob.
Basically, Toronto Screwjob where he got fucked up, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh my god, he won, and then ring. Oh, Maurice
rang the bell.
You know, shenanigans, basically shenanigans, and then cruiserweight title, same thing. Baron Corbin comes in, fucks everything up. And I was like, oh, Daniel comes up to Baron and says, oh, you know, you're going to see what's going to happen to you on Tuesday.
What the fuck? You screwed us over from getting the Cruiserweight division.
Exactly. And I was like, okay, so what's going to happen now? I think Baron Corbin is a big athlete. They should definitely – I think they fucked him up by not putting him in the 5-on-5 Raw and SmackDown match, I think. But, I mean, nonetheless, moving on. I mean, we're definitely going to talk about –
you have the tag team title – the tag team match, which sucked.
I think tag team, they fucked up on the spot. They could have done a lot more things.
Yeah.
But they totally blew it out. Like, they fucked up.
What else is there?
We had, what is it?
Yeah, what was the IC title? Not the IC title, the US title.
US title was with Roman, 5-on-5.
I was saying, where was that? That deserved to get its own match, though.
Yeah, but it's Roman Reigns, you know, because, you know, Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn keep jerking off each other's dicks and everything on him. Like, oh my god, you know, this is the poster boy for WWE now. Oh my god, you know, he's the next John Cena.
Then you have the match that actually was good.
Yep.
Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, the male match, which I thought was great.
Oh my god, what I think was very, very like crazy, what I didn't expect at all was Shane. I thought Shane was gonna eliminate 1, 2, 3, but no, he actually lasted there for a long, long time. And he actually did a lot of things. It was crazy.
Did you happen to catch the Randy Orton moment?
Oh, yeah. You seen the that was when he was comforting Shane's kids, right?
Yeah.
He broke character. I mean, but that's crazy, though. You know, yeah, your dad. Yeah, it's kind of like your dad got, what'd you call it? He basically
speared.
He got speared. One. Second, you know, he got all fucked up. He almost nearly died, and you know, because he could sell like a motherfucker.
They said that he had like that dead look on his face because his eyes were just like bulging.
Yeah, it seemed like he got a concussion there for a minute. It was like, oh my god, and then like you know, you see his kids crying, and they're like, oh my god, and then you see Randy going, no, it's all right, calm down.
Your dad's gonna be okay, don't worry.
Your dad's good, and then he was breaking character the whole time. Like he was supposed to be this brainwashed Bray Wyatt puppet, but he totally broke through that and said, nah, fuck it, don't worry, it's all right.
Because he's a father. He knows how it is.
Yep. And that's something powerful, though. I mean, well, here's another thing, too. Do you remember the spot? Well, all I can say is this. The only good thing out of that whole match, I think, what I think was really good, one, the Shield spot. But you know what's second for me?
What?
James Ellsworth.
Oh, yeah.
that was funny as hell when what'd you call it? James Ellsworth was under the ring. Braun Strowman got what'd you call it?
Counted out.
Yeah, got elbow dropped onto the table, and the next thing you know, he's getting counted out 10, 10, 10, 10. And the next thing you know, he comes up, almost about to touch the rope, and then something grabs him by the leg. And he's like, what the fuck? And that's it. Gets knocked out. And then that whole thing happened where, where'd you go? You got thrown into the little area there.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was, here's what I predict will happen. Royal Rumble, there'll both be entrants at the what do you call it, 2017 Royal Rumble.
Ellsworth's going to eliminate Braun.
Yeah, basically, Ellsworth's going to eliminate Braun. Yeah, basically, I think that's going to happen. I hope that happens. That's going to be hilarious. But knowing Vince, I know he wants this guy to be strong. I know he wants him to be like a fucking monster. So he's kind of like, no, we're not doing that. We're making him look strong. And worst case scenario, we don't want some guy with no chin to put this guy over and bury him.
Since you're talking about chin,
yep,
it was funny backstage with the club. When they were making fun of James Ellsworth.
Although, yeah, all those puns, yeah. Carl Anderson has so much potential. I don't know why WWE is stripping him. They're kind of limiting him too much. Because when you see in the indies, like, who was the one that was always cutting the best promos and all that stuff? When it was the Bullet Club and all that.
Besides Omega, Carl Anderson.
Yeah, Carl Anderson, right? And Carl Anderson was fucking funny when you saw him. It was like, holy shit, this guy's like hilarious.
The one video I love is Maria is dancing on the apron.
Yep.
Carl Anderson starts dancing also.
Mm-hmm.
AJ comes in, tries to stop him. He turns AJ around. They start dancing, AJ and Carl.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gallows comes into the ring.
Yeah, and he stopped him. He was like, no, don't fucking let that distract you.
Then they all get super kicked.
Uh-huh. That shit was, I mean, Carl Anderson's a fucking comedian. Like, they're kind of limiting him in the way they can do it. I think WWE is just kind of restrictive because they're like, okay, they've seen this guy cut promos and curse, and they're like, okay, you can't keep saying, okay, my hot Asian wife, because that's going to come off a little bit racist. But, I mean, it's fucking funny when you see it from him because it's actually true. And it's like, you know.
What are you going to do for Christmas? Well, I'm going to wrap presents for my hot Asian wife.
Yeah. They should
beat up John Cena.
Yeah, they really should have some kind of gimmick where it's like, okay, everything is
ugly girl that comes out as his wife.
Yeah, and he says, "My hot Asian wife," and then next thing you know, and then there's gonna be one day where we see the actual hot Asian wife, and it's like, holy shit, that's gonna be fucking hilarious. Though, I mean,
but did you actually see her though?
No, I didn't see her yet.
She is exactly what Carl said.
Really?
She is a hot Asian wife.
Damn, that's crazy.
Ski.
He got yellow fever.
Ski.
This guy. Well, moving on to.
He has yellow Asian. He has yellow fever. Ski.
Yellow fever. Yellow fever. Ski. Well, how about this? Brock versus Goldberg. I just can't stand this.
Does that cover it?
Oh my god! I want my $9.99 back because this shit pissed me off. I mean, it was like, okay, let's go back. You know what
the promo that they're running now for the network?
What is it?
If you buy, you're not even buying. If you subscribe for November, you get December and January free.
Yeah, I seen that.
So you get up until the Royal Rumble for free.
Yeah,
Why can't they do that with us?
Because we're quote unquote vanilla internet marks that
all these friggin' shitty pay-per-views. We should get something.
Yeah, we should. I mean, for sure.
If you want to give us $250 in shop credit for free, I'll take that.
Let's do a petition right now. Let's do that. Whoever joins us is gonna get $250 credit. Let's make this a movement right here.
I'll take that. Do you have any shirts I could buy?
Let's do it. I'm ready to do that. Let's do it.
Do you have any shirts I could buy with that?
Dude, do you know how many fucking what was I gonna say? You know how many fucking New Day socks I can buy with that? It's crazy.
Do you know how much Sasha Banks fucking merchandise I could buy?
Dude, them glasses, that ass.
I'll buy the glasses, the rings, everything.
It's crazy. But well, you know what else you can't buy though?
That pay-per-view back.
You can't, and well, one more thing too. You can't buy back all those moments where Brock was standing tall, first starting off with The Undertaker. Beat him at WrestleMania 30. Holy shit! Everybody's jaws dropped. Like, holy fuck, this guy's a monster. Beat up John Cena, took the belt. Holy
Took him
shit!
to Suplex City.
Took him to Suplex City. Beat up fucking Roman Reigns. Took it, like, basically destroyed him. Introduced Suplex City to us.
Suplex City,
Randy Orton
bitch.
fucked him up. Yeah, he fucked up Randy Orton. He threw Big Show like a fucking
Cut him
ragdoll.
open.
Yep. But, and then out of nowhere, they took a
You
shit.
lose to fucking
Yeah.
Goldberg in a minute and 26 seconds.
They took a shit on Brock. I think that's what happened. They buried the
and a
shit.
jackhammer.
And a push and a shove. That's it. Like, are you serious? Come on, man. And like, you know, it's disappointing that you see that. You know, it's like, okay, you know, this guy was supposed to be built. You're supposed to see some kind of fight. Oh, that didn't happen. Why? Because
I actually regret naming our original podcast Suplex City.
Yeah.
I regret that now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we were still finding our fitting, so I'm glad we switched over to RSN. So that's one thing. But nonetheless, I mean, that was kind of disappointing to see that. But do you know? But I mean, well, by the way, you run the Twitter page, right? At RSN Podcast.
Yeah.
And I mean, what have you heard regarding why that happened and everything like that?
From what I'm hearing, Goldberg was legit hurt, so Brock agreed to cut the match short, really short,
Really?
like really, really short.
I heard Brock was like voluntarily saying, "Let's, you know, I'm ready to lose."
Well, my whole thing is why end it a fucking half hour early?
Well, here's one thing. Brock was one smart motherfucker. If, you know, he's getting paid and he knows he's getting paid, he'll take advantage of that and give people their money's worth. But today, I mean, that pay-per-view, the Survivor Series pay-per-view, I think he gave them their worth. And he basically gave his worth too. He's like, you know what? I don't feel like working today. Let me just
Lose in a minute.
Yeah, let me just lose in a minute and help this guy. I mean, well, one thing too, I know that Brock and Goldberg are good friends in real life though, right?
Yeah.
They're good friends. I mean, of course, there was that ominous fight where he was in.
You know, I just forgot to mention.
What was that?
Nia Jax actually put on a really good match, though.
For Survivor Series?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Nia Jax actually had a really good match.
I think she
actually showed that she was dominant.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it actually looked like, you know, believably that she was one tough bitch, you know?
Yeah, that she did.
But,
I forgot to mention that.
Mm-hmm.
She really put on a hell of a fucking match.
Yep. But I mean, it makes sense to, you know, of course, have that. You need to have this woman that's a big a force to reckon with. Now, let me ask you this: with the Royal Rumble, they've had their fair share of women come into the Royal Rumble, right?
Do you think there's gonna be anyone? Is what you're asking?
Do you think that Nia Jax will be in the Rumble?
No.
You don't think that? I mean, so how about this? What if she was being in the Rumble? Do you think a certain other big diva with that same kind of frame show up at the Rumble that's shown up before?
Awesome Kong?
Yep.
Possibly.
I mean, imagine that. A face-off between Nia Jax and Awesome Kong.
I actually want to see a face-off between her, Nia Jax, and Tamina. The two cousins.
Right. That'd be dope, though, no lie. I mean, if you see that, it's kind of like, you know, I think it's good because they're building something. At least they're making something. You know, Nia Jax, they're trying to put her up as this big fucking monster in the women's division, but, you know, she's starting to get there.
I think they're trying to make her like Beth Phoenix was, like the Glamazon.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to do with her.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, one thing, of course, she's related to The Rock. So, of course, if you're related to The Rock, if you're even like one part of a blood cell related to The Rock.
If you married into the family.
Yeah, if you're married into the family, of course, you're definitely going to get a push. Why? Because
you're Samoan.
What'd you call it? Yeah, of course you're Samoan, and of course Vince is scared of the wild Samoans, thinking that they're gonna go ahead and raid his home in Connecticut and basically fuck him to death. But you know, it's always been this favorite thing where it's like, okay, any Samoan that's been in the business has gotten bigger, especially if they're related to The Rock.
Speaking of The Rock, he was supposedly supposed to make a return last night because it was the 20th anniversary.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, well, he's doing a lot of movies, I think, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, he probably don't got time. But I mean, what about the Royal Rumble? You think he's gonna show up at Royal Rumble?
Probably.
He's showing up, I think, last 2 years. Oh no, last year, right?
Yeah.
Or no, last 2 years.
To help Roman win.
Yeah, to help Roman win. But I mean, if you see him do like an appearance like that, no lie, that'd be good. But it'd be probably better if you see him actually show up because that's 20 years since the Royal Rumble has been in existence, and it would make sense to have him come back at least for one appearance.
Do you think he'll be in the match?
Depends. I think, of course, because if you're gonna have The Rock come in, they're probably gonna do the same thing like they did at WrestleMania, where it was just like a 6-second deal where he just came in, did a little, thing like that, buried someone, and that's it, left. The same thing will happen with Goldberg too. Like Goldberg, of course, he was injured. From what you're saying, are they really going to just let him perform and risk getting injured? I mean, it's the same thing with the Rock. Basically, coming back to the Rock. The Rock is he got contract with big movie companies, like production companies. Does he really want to get injured and risk making all those movies and stuff? You can't blame him.
True.
But I mean, one thing that I think we all can conclude: Survivor Series sucked monkey ass. That's one thing. Jericho isn't a part timer. He's fucking legendary, and he can adapt to shit. No problem.
In the words of Bret Hart, I rate this lower than a 4 out of 10.
I rate this, I'd say 3 out of 5.
Out of 10, I give it like a 2.
I'm being pretty generous. I'd say 3 out of 5. No lie. I mean, I'm giving that extra half star for a reason. It would have been 2.5 out of 5, but
I thought it was horrible.
I think they did a good job of doing different kind of spots, but they could do more. I mean, of course, Shane put on one hell of a performance. Didn't expect that out of him, so it's good to see him do that. That Shield spot with the Shield reuniting.
Oh, I thought that was great.
That was crazy. I mean, at first you kind of looked at it, you're like, okay, they're missing one member. It's not going to be the same. And then when you see him actually come out, it's like, holy shit, he's coming out. And the security guards are beating up on Dean. He goes ahead and they're beating the shit out of security guards, helping him. And then you see this whole thing where it's like, okay, Shield time, let's do it again. Shades of 4 years ago.
Do you see Dean jumping to Raw?
I don't think, not yet. Not yet.
Because I would love to see the Shield versus the Club.
Oh man, but here's one thing: they got to bring back Finn Balor. They can't do it without Finn Balor.
Or you could do AJ.
I don't think it would be the same. They can, but I doubt it'll be the same. I think that was probably their first initial plan to have that happen until Finn got injured. But speaking of Finn, do you think he will show up at Royal Rumble?
He's cleared to fight at the Rumble, they say.
Really? That quick? It took him that long to recover from this shoulder injury?
They say he's way ahead of schedule.
Wow,
and he's passing all the tests.
Interesting. I mean, personally, I can tell you, shoulder joint is a very, very hard joint.
Especially the way he landed.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an easy joint to fix. It's very, very hard. I mean, it's very, very delicate joint, and there's so many things that you got to try to fix out and all that crap.
Did you see the Seth Rollins documentary?
Yep.
You saw that test he was doing with his leg?
Yep.
Where they made him push and pull?
Yep.
They did the same test with Finn, but with his shoulder.
Yeah.
And they say he passed it with flying colors.
Really? Well, I mean, a shoulder is pretty. It doesn't take that long to rehab. I mean, Cena, of course. You look at Cena. He did it under. He did it under
Cena though.
Yeah.
He passed it. He rehabbed it, but then he got injured a month later.
Yeah, and then he had to go ahead and go back. I mean, of course, but he made an appearance at WrestleMania. He ended up.
No one expected.
Yeah, no one totally didn't expect that at all. But when they saw him, it was like, he was injured. He couldn't do a lot of things. I mean, he, of course, did an attitude adjustment on Eric Rowan. So that's one thing. But, I mean, I think they're pretty much limited. But what I'm seeing is his trend. If someone's injured or they have an idea that they are injured, they're not going to go ahead and have them perform full out. They're going to actually let them say, okay, fine, let's try to modify that so that you can do something. Because I think they learned from Sting. They learned from all these different people that, okay, we need to watch out for these things.
Because injury is something, not to mess around with, especially something serious.
Of course. Look at the whole year of 2015. The whole list of injuries and what that did to WWE.
Seth, Cesaro,
Cena, Rowan, Harper. Everyone was like getting injured.
Yep, left and right, left and right. And I mean, it's good now that WWE is watching over that and preventing these kind of things from happening. So that's good.
Took
But-
long enough though.
Yeah, it definitely did. But so basically, I mean, of course, this is our Survivor Series review. But next thing we're gonna have is probably the end of the year in review podcast.
But we always have the shoots.
Always gonna have the shoots. Probably do a little bit of TLC.
I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere besides Facebook and YouTube that our fans could view previous shoots?
Oh, definitely. Yes. There's a certain site run by not just any Nick Lopez, the Nick Lopez.
It's Nick.
It's Nick. And what's the site's name?
ProWrestlingOpinion.com.
PWO. Check it out. In-depth review. He goes in-depth. He goes in real in-depth. So you get to see it as it's happening, as you're reading it. But there's a certain tagline, right? It's tagline time.
It's that time.
It's that time.
Reading is fundamental. Reading about wrestling puts you over.
You know what I got to do? I missed that. I missed that line to put in our promo video, which, by the way, you can check out on our YouTube page. We had a whole promo about what's going to happen this upcoming year. You thought 2016 was good? Look at us in
2017 is gonna be
2017.
better.
2017. We're
We're not
knocking
only-
down.
We're not even knocking out the door. We're kicking that motherfucker in.
Indeed, we are. And this is, we're continually evolving. So, we appreciate the support that you guys are giving us. We appreciate it if you do more and more. Spread the word about us. RSN Wrestling Podcast, New York's own, right here. We got it all right here. So, we're representing New York. We're the quote unquote vanilla internet marks that say, fuck Jim Cornette, fuck
Kevin Dunn.
fuck Kevin Dunn, fuck Eva Marie, and
Fuck
for all
Vince.
fuck's sake, fuck Vince. I mean, we're not pulling any punches. We're not pulling anything like that. We're going all out. This is the only podcast where you see that kind of stuff. So again, we do this for you. We do this out of our passion, out of our heart, out of something that
Not
we
doing
enjoy.
this for money. We're not
definitely-
doing it for money again.
We're definitely not doing this. Tell me if you ever see an ad on any of our YouTube videos, and if you do, you're either smoking some loud stuff, or
They're smoking and joining in the back of Van Dam.
yep, or maybe Van Damme's right with you, and he's you're secondhand smoking that shit. But We-
You get high as shit with that.
definitely you do, and you'll definitely be having red eyes and all that shit and everything for sure. But I mean, nonetheless, you can always check us out on
No.
Facebook, YouTube,
only
all
time
that other
you-
stuff.
You'll see an ad is if YouTube puts it in.
That's true.
Because we don't do it.
Indeed, we don't. But I mean, nonetheless, we got our
Because
bi-weekly
you even
shoots.
said that they ask if you want any ads to be put into the video. And you say
Yep.
no.
We don't, exactly. We haven't put anything. There's still that AdWords thing over there. We totally stay away from that. We don't want to do that, of course, because, of course, we're doing this out of passion of our hearts. And worst case scenario, we don't want to put out the message that we're stealing from a certain multi-billion-dollar company like WWE that
Who could
thinks that
afford to lose.
no, I mean, of course, this company thinks that we're threatening to them when we're just doing commentary and we're just reading
And
our own thoughts.
this all started because the pay-per-view when Bailey debuted.
Yep. But I mean, nonetheless, we're definitely not gonna, of course, infringe on anything like that. But we're gonna try to offer you guys something else. But I mean, all I can tell you is one thing: be sure for a comprehensive review. So from now on, you're gonna see more of these comprehensive reviews happening, and I'll show you what that means later on. But for sure, be on the lookout. And if you have any other questions, any other comments, suggestions, let us know right away on
Just do
Facebook.
it.
Indeed.
Inbox
Also, check out Pro
us.
Wrestling Opinion.
You can inbox us, leave comments.
Yep.
You could write to me on Twitter and I'll respond.
By the
Right.
way, at RSN Podcast, run by the big guy exclusively. You get your news firsthand before it
Before it
hits,
even hits the public.
before it hits everybody else. And it's not by a certain journalist. It's not by a certain
Not by
magazine.
Dave Meltzer.
It's not, definitely not Dave Meltzer. Not by a certain Observer magazine. This is just, Rich,
Run by
the big
the
guy.
big guy.
The big guy doing it. Follow that for sure. We're still growing on that. I think we're growing up, right? How many followers we got on that channel? On
We have
that,
a good amount. I don't know. I don't remember offhand, but I know it's a good amount.
we're growing though, right? I think it's like
Yeah.
almost one follower every 2 days or something like that.
Even quicker. There's days
Yeah.
that I can get like 4 followers.
Also, yeah, check us out on YouTube. Also, we got our videos up there too. All those other kinds of things. And stay tuned for 2017. We got our Legends podcast coming up, and also
We're really
For your
trying to
video.
pull some indie stars also.
yep, Indie Stars also. Well, here's one thing also. For all you video game fans out there, we're gonna be doing something possibly in the near future
Oh no, we
regarding
will.
video games. Yep,
It's gonna happen. We just don't have a date yet.
yep, it's gonna happen. But I mean, for sure, we're definitely gonna be doing that. So give us, again, be sure to follow us. We're still going, and we
But like I said, with the indie wrestlers, we're trying. I'm talking to Nick to try and have him talk to people to get people such as Sean Stasiak, former WWE star,
Mhm.
Johnny Knockout, who was a jobber to Braun Strowman,
Mhm.
and Deanna Purrazzo.
Yep, but I mean, it all
who's
comes in,
NXT, ROH, all that.
Yep, and I mean, if you guys are happening to watch this podcast, just know we're still growing, and there's something that you can benefit out of this because, of course, we're trying to keep ourselves different from every other podcast out there. And again, like we said in our motto, we're not knocking the door of podcasting. We're kicking that motherfucker down. So come join us if you want to, okay? But nonetheless, we'll see you guys out.
See you guys.